Okay, folks, Tuesday afternoon, and we're going to do a little bit of painting here. So we left off finishing up our light horse, my Hungarian light horse, and we're going to do a little bit of a smorgasbord of different things, and as we go on to the next step. So let's get this all calibrated where we need to be, and get this where it is. Okay, yeah, we got finished doing these guys right here. These Hungarian light horse. In the last session, these guys are completely done. Stands in the Hungarian army done. So, yeah, we're going to get to work on that. Along with some other projects as well along the way, because what we're doing now, we're not going to be able to go straight through because we got some priming and gluing and so forth going. So this is going to be kind of a all things project here, project day. Okay, one of the things I need to work on is I had a little bit of a damage thing. My little Spanish castle, a piece of it broke off, and we need to fix that. So let's get Elmer's glue out. And we're going to do something I don't do very often, which is repairs. This is just a made out of blue styrofoam. It's the first camp I ever built, and let's get one of these brushes we can put the glue on here with. Yeah, this is blue styrofoam, as you can see here. So this is all one chunk, and we ended up putting the stonework on there with it broke off. Okay, no problem. All right, we're just gonna glue that little piece on there. One of these broke at some point. I don't know where the hell it went to. So we're just gonna paint that one. We're gonna repaint that and make it look like it got damaged there from bombardment or something. All right, so let's get in here. Certainly we have some black here. That's still good. Okay, that's it, just painting a little black. Let that dry a little bit. We'll come back and do some dry brushing on top of it, and it'll be almost as good as new. All right, let's get this out of the way. Well, we promised that when we're going to work on the next figure, we were going to get rid of this paper, but that may not be the case just yet. All right, so let's look at some Hungarian knights here. And none of these have been primed. So on the Hungarian knights, the way I'm going to build them is there's going to be a standard stand with 3 on a 40 by 30, and 2 deep knights on these. So I'm going to pull out a 40 by 30. Okay, so the command stand is going to be 3 figures on here. And the two deep knights, of course, are 6 figures on this one. Okay, and we're gonna have 3 guys across the back, and then we'll have the other 3 in a wedge. On these 2 stands here, it's just the standard 3 figures across the front. So let's take a look at, we're going to do the 2 deep knight stands first. So these particular poses are going to be in the, if we've got positions, say a 1 like this, you got 4, 5, and 6 here, and we're going to have 2 there and 3 there. That's the positions on there. Okay, so we're going to have some kind of figure here in the middle, and this may not be exactly a scale, but that's kind of the idea. 3 guys against the back. These guys are going to be less armored guys, and your fully armored guys with a fully armored horse is going to be on these 3 positions, and somewhere in between will be on the back, probably unarmored horses and armored guys, or some kind of variation like that. So when he fought in a wedge, that tended to be the case. You'd have the better armored guys that would be towards the front, and they would be kind of protecting, and then the knights on the back were either more poorly equipped, or so forth. So these guys are something, because of their position of their lances, it makes sense that they would be in the 2 and the 3 position. Okay, so that's I got 3 guys like that with the little tufts, and I got a 4th guy that's slightly different. Okay, these are the 4 knights that will be going in position 2 and 3 on both of these stands. We're going to go ahead and label this one as well. We got a 1, a 2, a 3. This labeling is for you guys, just so you can kind of visualize what's going on there. Okay, so these 4 knights are going to be the ones that go 1, 1, 2. 2, 3, 2, 3 on these 2 stands. Okay. All right. So what other kind of knights do we have here? So let's move these guys up to the side. This is the crew of the wagons. We were planning on doing the wagons first, and then we had the issue with the war wagons not coming in, etc. All that's been rectified, but I lost my mojo on the wagons, so we'll be doing the wagons last, even though we got one already built, like so. All right, let's see. These are some guys that I pulled off to the side here as candidates. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, these are the guys I was going to use as armati. I'm no longer going to use them because I've already built the armati. Okay, armati being the blade stand. So I'm going to take these, should be 4 of them here. Yeah, and we'll end up putting we're not going to use those guys right now. Now this is a Hungarian knight from Essex. This is a Hungarian knight from Essex. This is a Hungarian knight from Essex. Okay. Here's kind of a knight of the period as well. Here's another one. And we could very well put in the 1 position, say a figure like this. He's not the commander, but he's kind of the leader of that pack, or so forth. So I've got 2 guys like that. What else do I have? I got 1 guy with a mace instead. We're not going to need him. I'm not going to need those 2. What else do we got here? Well, this is a great pose. This is a figure that's the right type, and he's carrying a couched lance, like he's getting ready to charge. But the pack these came in, I've used a lot of these guys. I've probably used 6 of them in my medieval German army. The lances I have are broken. So I could put just a regular needle or something like that in there, but I don't think I want to use him enough to do that. So I'm going to set them off to the side. What we got here? This guy's not very inspiring. We're going to set him off to the side. Okay. Let's set these other guys off to the side. Now, we don't have horses for these guys yet. No big deal. Okay, these two guys, so this guy's got a shield. So I'm going to probably build 2 command stands for this army. One of them for, and where did he go, by the way? Where did the boy wonder go? Also known as Matthias. I had a figure for him that specifically me. I don't see where he is here. All right, well, I got to dig up a little bit. And I just pushed these guys off to the side when I was working on the other stuff. So these guys will come front and center here in a second. But I was reading about these guys and some of the battles they participated in. And I think I'm going to make his dad's army as well, Janos Hunyadi. And because that's an earlier time period, he's in the 1440s. Still had some guys that were running shields and stuff. So I think I'm going to save these 2 guys for the command stand, the other command stand. All right, we're going to put them off to the side. We're going to use them. We're just going to use them shortly. All right, so let's see what we got here. We've got, what's this? Okay, this is the other war wagon stuff. This. Like I said, this is not going to be a scripted session today. This is going to be kind of a, let's get ready for the next batch of stuff. What do we got? Aha, here we go. Here is another knight. Okay, so we don't have to use this guy. And the reason I wouldn't want to use this guy is because this guy's kind of a more bendy alloy, the metal we want to use. That's the 4 knights that we want to use. All right. Here is the figure. This was a museum miniatures figure for, I think they were in the Maximilian list or whatever. And I chopped his head off and we put a guy that kind of looks like Matthias's head. So this is my first head swap I've ever done. So this guy will be on the command stand. This guy will be on one of the command stands. All right, so I'm going to set him off to the side. I'm only worried about the units of 6 knights at this point. What do we got here? Okay, that's Poles. The figures that I had sorted off ahead of time that were Hungarian-ish, that I could use them for that army. So I pre-sorted them, so I don't have to go through everything right now. But we need to get 6 knights that are guys that are going to be sitting in the background, not the front chargers. So, all right, so let's see what we got here. That's a Polish wagon. Okay. I'm not going to use these guys, and as a matter of fact, they can go back in my 100 Years' War or whatever thing. Venetian Knights, no. Crap ton of horses, no. Okay, here's another war wagon. There's foot troops for the war wagon. Hungarian spearmen. Okay, yeah, we're starting to get into some of these guys here. Okay, this is Hungarian bowmen. Here we get into the meat and potatoes here. Here's some horses for the fully armored knights. There's some other knights like those other ones that could. Crossbowmen. Guys that are over on this pile, we're not going to use them anytime soon in the army for sure. More Hungarian bowmen. Another Polish wagon. Okay. So somewhere there is a crap ton of horses. Essex horses to go with these Essex guys. So we'll need to find out where the heck that is. Because these are horses that are for Roundway. Now, these two guys are going to go here. Because this army, instead of having these two deep knights, it can also have two standard knights, but those are the earlier list. They're all in the same list in DBA, but if you get the DBMM book, they could be either one in DBA, and if you look at what the time period is, it's around the later 1400s when they go to these instead of just the standard knights with three figures on a stand. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. Oh, not worried about the war wagon right now. Just worried about these figures here. Now, I know I'm looking for horses that are totally unarmored. I've got plenty of them. They're just not here right now. So let's look and see what we got pose-wise. And this is to fill in this back row of guys. Okay, I suspect these are all the same pose. That's why they're in a baggie like this. So you got a guy with a salet, and he's got a shield. And he's basically unarmored. Okay, so real quick, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pull out 2 of each one because I believe there's 3 poses. Oh, they're mixed in. This is a different pose. Interesting. These are all the same pose except that guy. All right, so let's do that. Okay, in this bag, I pre-sorted these before, so all right. And this last one is a different shield. Okay, so now we got 6 figures. These are all unarmored. They have a shield on them, and they're kind of fill in the gap guys. All right. Now we just got to find some horses for these guys, so we'll have to do that off camera. Right back. And I want guys that have, do not have Barding, nor do they have the cloths. I do not want caparisoned horses. Because the one thing that seems pretty common about, well, that's the wrong one. The one that seems pretty common at figures of this time period is sometimes you'll have a knight, and this is, you're talking about late 1400s. Sometimes you will have a knight, man at arms, what have you, that will have an unarmored horse, but he'll be armored. And sometimes you'll have you'll have like a second tier guy, like these guys are, okay, that is not armored as well as the other knights. However, what you'll never see, or I've never seen, is I have never seen any. I've seen fully armored knights on horses that are unarmored. I've never seen an armored horse with like armor on the horse, but then figures that look like this. It's usually there's more armor on the actual person than there is on the horse, or both equivalent. I've never seen a fully armored horse with a guy that's just kind of just wearing not the best armor that's available. So I thought they were in there. I guess they went. Oh, my mistake. False alarm. So that's something to keep in mind. The guys on the back row, they don't have to be armored, but they don't have to be armed. The horse doesn't need to be armored. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say two things and it's not working really well for me. So just bear with me. I will be right back. I thought it was in the right place and I was not. I think I found him. I just need to be sure that that's the correct one. I told you I was going to do a smorgasbord of stuff. Okay, that's the ones. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. We need 6 horses. Let's see what we can. We don't want this one because he's got a cloth on him. He's caparisoned. These are pretty animated pretty well. All right. These are all Essex horses. Again, we don't want cloth. We don't want the cloth. Not for these guys, we don't. Don't want the cloth. All right, last one. And then we'll put our 6 horses from these that are sitting here. No. Okay, let's put these guys in categories now. This guy's way too active, but like this is a good pose for these guys in the back. So this guy's definitely a candidate. He's got a wild tail. I like the horse, but he's a little too active for where those guys are in the position. He's got the same active pose. Here's one. Here's a similar one. This is the same as this one. Here's that super active one. The hyperactive horse. Here's a cloth. Head hung low in shame. Okay. Another head hung low in shame. Okay. Exciting, right? Did I go to get the paint today? No. No. I've been home all day. I've been trying to put two videos up. One of them is being a little fill in the blank. One of them's up, so we did a battle. We did a historical battle yesterday before a game night, and that one's up. And just trying to get the multiplayer battle up. It got 78% of the way uploaded, and then it stopped, and I had to start over again. So, oh well. Right. So we're not interested in these. We're not interested in these. We're not interested in these for these figures. Okay. We like this one. This guy's another good one. Let's see. This guy's probably okay as well. One of these is probably okay as well. This one's all right. Put these. Yeah, the videos take a lot of time to put up. And it's not because of the editing. Editing is relatively does not take a long time. It's all the internal drama. So it takes about an hour to compress it. and then it takes another couple of hours to upload it to YouTube. So, and then when it's uploaded to YouTube, you guys still can't watch it because it's processing. So like it's uploaded and it could take another couple hours. So it's not easy. Those guys that are putting videos up all the time, they're going through a pain in the ass. Now I'm watching on my computer. Okay, it looks like the other video is almost ready to go. So I'm gonna break off here for a second. We'll still be online, and let's do the stuff that we need to do on here so we can get this video up. Yeah, 2 o'clock. I've been doing this for messing with these two videos for over 6 hours. So, I mean, I've been doing other stuff between it, but all right. So let's view this, and the other thing is sometimes when you make a video, you upload it, it automatically gives you a thumbnail at the right time, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know why it doesn't do that, but it's a pain in the butt. But let's open up our program here. We took a screenshot of the first screen because that's what we want to use as the okay, and we're going to do a crop and right, done. And then you got to save this as an image. You got to put it as a JPEG because if you give it too good of a resolution like it, YouTube does not like that. So we're going to go back to our channel here, and we'll be right back. We're just okay. It may not be up. So let's go to edit this, and we're going to upload the thumbnail. Here we go. Yeah, it's a long process. It's not like all of a sudden you take a video and you do it all. It's a pain in the ass. It's fun to do though. It's I don't want to play. I really don't want to play any battles without them being filmed because all kinds of interesting things happen. Another example, we did the battle that we put up was a historical battle that we did about 5 years ago, trying to get people into playing DBA 3.0. Put on a set of like 4 battles called the Art of the Roman Art of War. So it was 4 battles, and we ran that at a convention, and we had a really bad turnout at that convention. So a lot of people didn't get a chance to play those battles after we spent a lot of time play testing and everything. So it was a little frustrating, and I put them away for like 5 years. And I decided to pull one of them out again and figured, oh, let's go ahead and we should, now that we're doing videos, we should do them on videos, right? Because there's some people that might be interested in playing DBA, but they don't necessarily like fantasy matchups. You know, they may want to play historical stuff, and you know, it's well suited for that. You just have to do your own research to make some of the battles. So we had done that with 4 battles. Two of them were battles that people have heard of, and 2 of them were battles that they probably hadn't. And it was whole point is people would play all 4 battles and play them in sequence. 2 of the battles favored, one of the battles favored the non-Roman player. Another one of the battles favored the Roman player, and the other 2 battles could go either way most of the time. So we decided to do one of those battles. This was one of the battles that could go either way. It's the Battle of Aquae Sexiae, with Marius versus the invading Germans, and that's up on the YouTube channel. It is the latest video on there. It's about to not be the latest video on there, and as soon as we get this up, because I've been trying for the last 4 hours to get this video uploaded, and I need to check one other thing. Almost done with this. We'll come back to messing with the painting here. And right. Yeah, okay, so the video's up, but I can't share it with anybody because it's still processing the high definition version. Okay, so we'll have to just keep an eye on when that's done in the next hour or 2. So the next video, our game video from last night, is done. And it's uploaded on YouTube, but you guys can't see it because if you watch it now, you're only going to be able to see it at 480p. So the way the videos work is you upload them, and then there's a certain amount of time that involves processing them, which is, on your own. I mean, that YouTube does it by themselves. So you'll be able to watch the video first in a crappy resolution, and then you wait about an hour or so, and then it'll be available in the resolution it was shot in. So I don't want to release the video out in crappy resolution because it looks like crap. I mean, why bother? It's filmed in 1080. That's what you guys should see it in. So we just have to keep an eye on this. And it says it's complete on both of them. Let's take a look at this thing. Now it's only available at 360p. Yeah, we have to let that do its thing. Anyways, we'll come back to that. Back to Hungarian horses here. So here are the 6 guys that are going to be on the back. We're going to have to clean these guys up with flash. We need to do that. And then we'll have to glue them on their horses. And as you noticed, if you guys watched my Hungarian horses, how I tried to glue these guys down. These have a very small footprint, and they have trouble standing up. So we are probably going to have to get creative with how we're going to put them on the stand so they don't fall over in the middle of painting. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So anyhow, right, let's get to it. We'll take my glasses off so I can see, as I like to say. I can see up close. Let's clean these guys up. Good old Essex horses. And it looks like this is the soft metal stuff. And some of these guys have a lot of flash, but nothing that can't be dealt with. All right, that guy's pretty good. Next. I don't enjoy cleaning flash off things. I figure it's the manufacturer's responsibility to get that done. It's, oh, look at this. Look at this horse. We got a horse that's an amputee. He's got a He's got a piece missing out of the horse there. Oh, you know what? We're going to epoxy that together. And when we pull the epoxy out, we'll still reuse this horse. Because this is the only one was in this pose. And I like this one. This has got the little straps here with like the little metal rivets and stuff on there. So we want to use this horse. Mismold. It's a priceless artifact that's made wrong, right? Okay. Next one. Yeah, this is definitely a soft cowboy. Hey, a horse that can stand on its own. Yeah, I may have to go make some coffee. I'm like super groggy. Yeah, this is a tiny footprint, but the horse had that piece of flashing that for safety in transit. Okay? I gotta get some coffee brewing. I got 2 left to go, and I feel like I just ate a 40-pound donut. Let's see, do we have, this looks a little different than normal. All right. I'll be right back, folks. got that brewing there. No, I don't know what's taking this video. May take a while to get up and running. Let me get out of it and then get back in. That's why I don't mind. I don't mind painting. Painting takes a long time, but you never run into a thing where you don't get anything done. You're always moving forward. It still says processing HD version on here, so. All right, we'll let that run for a little bit. Anywho. All right, where were we? I need to scrape these two guys down. Yeah, I'm not sure how old these molds are. I bet they're probably pretty old. They've gotten a lot of castings out of them or whatever, but. Anyway, several companies have come out and they've come out with 15mm figures in plastic, injection molded. And I was asking the guys yesterday. I know for a fact that that a standard casting like this, the mold will eventually wear out and has to be redone. I have several figures that are no longer available because they didn't want to redo the molds. And they were figures I got just before I got into DVA. So I had just gotten the figures, I got into DVA. 15 years later, I come up for air. I go to check on what other products they've come out with since for that, for those miniatures and 20mm scale, and come to find out that those figures that had just come out at the last minute are no longer in production because the molds got worn out and they're not making them again. So luckily I had bought one pack of each figure that they have. And now they're kind of collector's items. So that's kind of odd, but I guess I'll wait a long time to come back up for air. But I'm not sure if injection molding has the same issue with the molds lasting longer or not lasting very long. Or I have a feeling if that's the case, if that's not the case with them, then that's why some of these figure manufacturers moved to doing them in plastic. Because for me personally, I don't care for plastic figures. It's not my thing. So, and the plastic figures they've come out with are ones that were available also, same pose and everything, in white metal. So I don't see much of an incentive for me to, it's not like I have access to figures that aren't available in white metal, you know. Then I could see, well, you know, I'll paint them because they look really cool, but anywho. All right, let's go to these unarmored dudes. Do you always use only a knife for cleaning flesh? Yes. I use a combination of knife and a file. File particularly for doing undersided bases. I don't use a file. It never occurred to me. I don't have a very large selection of files. The files I have are really old. And I'm not even sure how I got them. I rarely use them. This is pretty much yeah, I don't really use a file for them. I thought about getting one of those little file sets like the one from Army Painter, but I haven't done so. So yeah, I pretty much just use an X-Acto knife. Okay, this guy's going to paint up good. He's got a good face. If you can tell that on there, but he's got caricature. Now I have half a mind to replace these guys' lances and put with pins, but I don't think I'm going to do that. That's just going to add more steps to the process. But they've gotten a lot of castings out of these molds. These guys have been around for a while, so. Okay. And this metal is really soft. Unfortunately. Hmm. Okay. Now, before we glue these figures on, and we're trying to glue them both on there, we're going to take these 6 horses and we're going to glue them on stands. Now, these are the same stands that we used before. We recycle the hell out of these things for a couple of reasons. It's stupid not to recycle them. And sometimes they're kind of hard to find in the stores we have here. So we'll try to get ones that are as flat as we can get them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's see what we got in this department. We got Ultra Gel Control. better check on that coffee. I'm gonna fall asleep right now. No, not yet. We're gonna move these guys to the side. Let's see what the glue situation thing is here. I'm gonna use that side. Okay. This is like the first set that I bought. And they're a tiny little bit smaller, they're harder to hold. So let's not use those. So I got one of those cutting healing mats underneath. Yeah, I don't cut on that. I cut on the cardboard, and I guess if I'm really rough, it might go through onto the cutting mat, but I don't want to look at that tattered thing every time I paint. And the reason I use super glue, I don't have to worry about a guy falling on the ground while I'm in the middle of painting. I don't want to pop him off. Sometimes his base is a little bigger now, so it makes it a little easier to glue him to the surface I'm going to. Okay, I should do it. A lot of people are running miniature sales, I think, this month. Lancashire and somebody else too. I just don't need any. I don't need any figures. I'm good. I thought there's 2 or 3. Yeah, so while we're waiting on that, I'll show you what my files look like. Maybe you'll see why I don't use them. I got two, and I'm not sure how I came across them. One of them is this one, and it came to me broken. And this one's huge. So I do use the files to file down like the edge of the needles and stuff. But other than that, I don't really use them for anything. I just use a good old X-Acto knife. It's not very precise. I should get one of those sets that are, maybe I saw it in Hobby Lobby. Maybe that's where I saw that it had it. They had like a little round one. I said, oh, that might be able to be handy. It was relatively small. It was maybe like about as big around as this. Maybe a little smaller than that. But yeah, don't really use them. Don't really use them for that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue these figures on here. But we're not going to use super glue for that. I use epoxy for that. So I don't want them to ever come off. No excuses. No excuses. So we might as well start getting our little epoxy thing ready. You have a jeweler's files and some larger pound shop dollar store files for general use. Have to be careful not to destroy the detail. Yeah, I came close to that file set. I saw it at this place we have here in the States called Hobby Lobby. It's kind of a craft store and it has some modeling stuff in there. They carry a small amount of Vallejo paints. Um, and they always have a 40% off coupon. So you just go online, print it up on pull it up on your phone, and you get 40% off one item. So if you're going in there and buying a $10 item, now it costs $6. So yeah, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. So I like that. Okay. Now, one thing we wanted to do with this guy with the epoxy is we wanted to fill in this whole thing. So let's make sure that lined up where it's supposed to be. And that'll serve to stick it together, and also a bit of a filler. Win-win. Okay, let's start. This needs to dry a little bit more before we add these guys on here. But all right, so we got two guys with the shield. So, we could do like that guy and then like this. That'd be all right. Different poses for different folks. This guy's running. So we got the other one that's just kind of not running. And then this guy over here can be on this one. And then this one can be on this one. Okay? That's who's going on what. Now, let's glue these boogers on here. We'll have some time to adjust them here. Huh. Dog next door is acting up. I don't think that I ever hear it. I forget they have one. Only pet dog I have is on the light horse command stand. Oh, doggo. This is going to be a fine looking figure. This is a this is a nice casting of that figure. Okay. Good. Okay. 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 So we just need the commanders that are going to be in the front position, but we can wait on that. We can do we could do them last. Now the coffee better be ready now, because if not, we're going to have a revolt here. All right. Now we'll be right back. Those need to dry a little bit anyways before we start using the primer. All right. Today was our first cool day. It's supposed to be like, it was like 40 something in the morning. Of course, now it's, well, I don't know what it is. I haven't been outside. But I'm sure it's hot again. Still processing. Huh. Oh well. Okay. Now, set this off to the side and see what we're dealing with here. Geez, this horse is like falling all over the place. Or it looks like it. Because this thing's got this goopy thing on the bottom. That'll be fine. It's really, if I hold it straight, he is kind of like cantering backwards. But yeah, this guy's still setting. All right, so what we'll do is we'll end up priming these other knights first. So, all right, so we're going to use our good old surface primer from Vallejo that I've been very happy with. And let's mix the hell out of this thing up. The sound of slurpiness. Yeah, I don't cut on my cutting mat, nor do I paint on it. And I didn't even buy it. It was got someone that came at guys at work said, "Hey, you want one of these?" And I said, "I do, but I'll take it home." And he's like, "Yeah, do whatever you want with it." So it came home with me just a couple of years ago, and maybe even more than a couple of years ago, and it's been there since. This thing's too expensive to replace. I mean, they're like $30 or something like that. I don't want to piss that money away. Okay. So I got everybody on watch at work to keep these cardboard things for me. So there's the back, the pads of paper and stuff come in. This stuff's amazing. You use it for all kinds of stuff, so. All right. This stuff goes a long way. Thank you. And I just realized a potential problem I could have. And that is, we've got these little fibers from the static grass in here. We want to make sure we don't mix that in with the primer and get that on the figure, because then we got to deal with that nonsense. Screw it, we'll just use the back side. Just need somewhere to put it. We don't really want to use it on a wet palette because weird things could happen. And of course, opening these things up, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see what's going on here. Where's my tweezers? This is actually a pretty well designed bottle. But these flip top bottles always have a thing that's really annoying, and that is the paint always dries to it. So it doesn't give you, look at that. All right. Now, as fine as a brush, we don't mind priming with and being a little sloppy. That's probably a good one. So is that one. All right. Coffee. My day off, I'm not taking a siesta, damn it. Okay. Let's focus there. And this stuff is, I'm really happy with it. It goes on really smooth, almost like it's oil based, like an enamel, like a thinned enamel. And no, I don't wash my figures. I don't have time for that. I'd have to wait for them to dry, and these are old figures. They've person who gave these things to me, they probably had them in their possession at least 15 years. So if there's any kind of surface release stuff, it's evaporated by now. Never had an issue with it, so. This particular model is from Museum Miniatures. Jeffrey, what are you working on these days? You working on some figures while you're watching this, or? I mean, that's what I do. Yes, I work on figures while I'm doing the paint thing. Hold on a second. I can't see what's going on. Yes.
I'm running over to your mom's for a minute to check on her.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye. All right. I'm always curious who's on it. Well, it's the end of a day over there in Europe, but over in the U.S., I know there's people that are online all day long. I'm like, what kind of screw offs are doing that? I mean, I have the day off, and unfortunately, I have the day off because I'd rather just get paid for these days. But they're not paying me, and so I've got like 5 more days I have to use before Christmas, or I don't get any credit and I don't get anything for them. And this is just because of so many days I've had to cancel my plans for vacation because either a convention didn't happen or we didn't go on a trip or a cruise or something like that in this year. So I took yesterday and today off. They were very slow at work, and is the video up? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Video's up? All right, cool. So what do we need to do? We need to move it to public. No, we need to go here. Um, Come on. Publish. Give me a second, folks. Been waiting all morning to do this. This is for your guys. This is 3 hours and 55 minutes long. All right, so we're going to copy and yeah, let's open up another window. Oh, that's not how you do it. And go here. We're going to, where's the share button? Here it is. And then I gotta put a, son of a biscuit eater. All right, let's go back here. Delete. Double son of a biscuit eater. There's something you guys hate to do. Mine is typing stuff, retyping things. Great. And copy and post. Somebody asked me the other day, they wanted to ask me how to post to multiple places on YouTube. And I said, on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Sometimes when I do it, I got to do it this one way. Sometimes I do it, I got to do it another way. I'm not a tech guy. The fact that I've been able to spit out 150 videos plus all these painting things is just a freaking miracle in and of itself. I am not a technology guy. I try to do things, and things should be easy to do. And if they don't if they're not easy, then I just give up and do something else. Painting is easy. Messing around with this technology stuff that works one way one time and works a different way a different time, and that's not my thing. So I find that stuff very frustrating. So it's just a few more of these here. I literally have been waiting like 7 hours to do this. So, as a matter of fact, I was going to go over to Mitch's today and do another video, but I got to get this off my phone, and I'm calling it a day. It'll have to wait till next week. Otherwise, I'm end up being a slave to this putting videos up. So, okay, so that's up. Now we need to go to this other location. And put this here as well. We're going to do a copy. And almost done, folks. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're good with everything. Let's just check it one more place. Come on. And let's look at this. Of course, that is an up. Save. It would remember all your settings, but I had a problem with a couple of posts recently. If you send somebody a post on Facebook, like if you create something, and I think I created a post that was I only shared to my wife. It wasn't anything explicit or anything. It was just something that wouldn't have been interesting to anybody else. So I shared it to her. So in doing so, I changed the settings on my on the post to only a select group of friends. And every time I'm posting from my phone now, it's coming up as a blank screen because the settings are still set to friends, to specific friends. And it's really freaking annoying that it wouldn't revert back. See, I'm telling you, I am not a technology guy. Things should be, things should be, things should be easy. So, anyhow, enough of that. All right, back to painting these guys here. So, I'm currently taking some secondhand 20mm militia off group bases. I'll rebase them individually for use in Doom Squad, a set of special forces rules. 20 mil. What? Any idea who the manufacturers of those? I'm a man. I'm 20 mils. That's my jam right there. That's what I like. I take it it's modern, if special forces. Yeah, I got my own set of rules that I was working on, but you can't get anything done. It's the opposite of DBA. It's just too detailed, and there's just some venues that I'm just not willing to give up detail on, and so it's just maybe better that I don't play it. Yeah, I've been working on that video for about like 6 hours, just trying to get that up. It's a pain in the ass, and the video's done. Just fighting with YouTube over it. So it is very time consuming. Very time consuming. There's a couple guys that I follow. I haven't watched their videos in a while. These guys are extremely talented. They do I believe the name of their channel is called 3D Bot Racing, as in 3D as in three dimensional, bot as in robot, 3D Bot Racing or 3D Bot Diecast. And what they do is they have this show. It's a weekly show, and they do races. They build this. It's a die-cast, like a Hot Wheels type track, but of course they have it all decorated with, you know, scenery and little figures that are pretending to watch the race. But they run these die-cast races where all they do is put them and they're gravity fed, and they run them just like if they were a real race with a commentary and everything. It's some hilarious stuff. If you guys have not seen that before, it's 3D bot racing. It's a couple guys out of California, and it's some really talented people. But they've got these videos that they're heavily edited. They have multiple cameras. They have at least four cameras running at the same time. And so that must just be a nightmare. They must really enjoy editing because I'm telling you, from the videos that I've done and I've seen what I have to go through, it is a major pain in the ass. Shooting the videos, not a pain in the ass. That's a lot of fun. But the whole editing and why won't this work this time when I uploaded it? I don't understand. All that crap is like super, super frustrating. So even though I've done it many, many times and it should be like a piece of cake now, it's still sometimes you get 90% of the way uploading something really, really slow, and then it jams and you have to start over. And meanwhile, you can't use your device that you're doing that on, and just a real pain in the ass. I've come close to just say I'm not doing any more videos because of that. Not because of the actual filming, but because of the whole editing thing. So I hope it doesn't come to that one day because I do enjoy them, and but it's a pain in the ass, honestly. So if I see people who do videos much more complicated than mine, I'm thinking, man, they must be really upset all the time because But that's a really cool channel, 3Bot Racing, and people actually submit their cars. They have to fall between some parameters about how much they weigh and everything. You mail them out to them and out in California, and they'll put you in different heats. And I mean, I'm telling you, it's run just like it was a real race, and it's you got to check it out. It's definitely those are definitely some talented folks out there, talented folks with a lot of time on their hands. So, and they've been doing it for a while. They've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years now. So it's not just they started doing this when it was COVID. It was pre that. So they're plastic Revell moderns with some head swaps and paint conversions. I take it there's some somewhat soft plastic, so I can't imagine how you stick another head on there. I can't imagine what glue you would use for that. Now, if it's hard plastic, sure, any of those ones that melt things or would work fine. But yeah, like the soft plastic, like the old Airfix figures. I don't know how the hell you'd glue those together. There's just a lot of petroleum properties to them, so they're quite oily, and I don't know how something would stick to them. Even like epoxy, I don't know, unless they're hard plastic, and then yeah, we know how those work. So 20 mil, that's the big scale in the UK. I happen to like that scale a lot. I grew up with it with 1/72nd scale stuff, and but that's I'm the exception here in the States for sure. Yeah, so I was hoping I'd be at this stage of uploading this video, say 3 hours ago. It was 3 hours ago. If I was at this stage, I'm like, let's go over to Mitch's and do another video, right? But nah, it's too rushed now. It's I figured I'd get some painting done instead. So I gotta do this anyway. So you guys got 2 videos this week anyway. So other than flash cutting, getting the flashing off figures, this is my other stage of the process that I do not like because I figured anybody can do this. Don't really need don't really need me for that. I guess I should drink some of that coffee that I bothered to make. Yeah, so I mentioned yesterday, one of the armies on my short list is pre-feudal Scots. So that would fit well with Mitch's Normans, and and then I'll have to pick up some Scotch to drink along with them when I play them. So there's an incentive. I don't really care for Scotch, but that doesn't mean that I can't find one that I'll like. So yeah, it's part of the team spirit, so to speak. Even though I'm sure it was developed much later than the Army period, but that's that's you can't find the perfect match or anything for that. So I certainly enjoy drinking along with my Irish. So imagine it would be the same thing. And I like fast pike a lot. Brass pike is cool. Let's put some more of this black down here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to roll right into doing the other horsemen as well. The cheapo knights. Guys that don't have the money or connections to have all this plate armor. Probably what impressed me the most is how well this paint flows onto this figure. I don't have to thin it down or anything. And it doesn't really cover up much detail, so. Okay. start working on these. On these guys. And this stuff is supposed to be self-leveling, which I guess means you could just slop it on and it's not gonna clutter over anything, but I'm still skeptical of that. Hold on one second. Ah, crap, I forgot to do one thing. We'll fix that in a second. Um, okay. Yeah, this is I consider this a tedious process. You know, you're just putting this on here, not missing any, trying not to miss any spots, because you just end up creating more work for yourself. And, something anybody could do. So, Okay. Next. These guys are all supposed to be like mercenary types, so. They're not going to be super flashy. And I do not think that their shields will have their personal heraldry on them. It's going to be more like Hungarian state stuff. That's at least my initial thought. I have to change that at any moment. I don't care how you do this. You always end up getting paint on me at this stage. Nothing big, but you know, this is sloppy nature. It's the sloppy nature of this, and also the amount of paint that I'm using. When I'm doing regular painting, I'm using so little amount of paint. You can't get any paint on you because you're not using hardly any at all. So. Man, we got a lot of stuff on here. Okay. Got this guy to do and 3 more. Okay, do this little face on here. Man, I'm starting to think I'm pretty much immune to coffee. Immune to the caffeine effects from coffee. Okay. Guy with a sway back horse here. Let's see here. All right. 3 more guys. And then we don't know what the hell we're going to do after that. Yeah, so this army has a fair amount of mercenaries, some of them even being Hussites. So, ex-Hussites. Pour myself some more. I'll be right back, folks. All right. I love when I get notifications that I'm online. Like I don't know. we're gonna have to put this brush in the soaking. I got distracted too many times during it. We're going to use this one. That's why we pulled out two brushes. And we'll do a few more drops of this. 1, 2, 3, gotta do it. This stuff goes a really long way. It spreads so well. What I was doing is what I had been using for primer for the longest time is Model Master Acryl Flat Black. And the only place that had it in town is Hobby Lobby, and they stopped carrying. I don't know if they stopped carrying or they just never had it in flat anymore. So it was in semi-gloss. But that stuff is almost like elastic. As it starts drying, it gets very elastic. So after opening the bottle, maybe 3 or 4 times, you start getting issues with how it's behaving. So I ended up switching to Model Master enamel. I don't paint in enamel, but I started using the enamel paint as a primer. Because it's going to stick really well to this. But it also dried relatively quick. And so I was having to take thinner and thin it down as I used it. And then what was happening is it became glossy. It was just having all kinds of issues. So when I found out about, I think I watched a video or something about this surface primer from Vallejo. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll give it a shot. And it's $20 or something like that. So it's not cheap, but yeah, I'm glad I went along with it. I'm really happy with it. It has zero smell. Can't even say that it has a pleasant smell because it's no smell at all. I bet it's got a taste. I'm not going to find out, but it has zero smell. And it's water wash up, and it's some kind of water-based polyurethane type thing. So self-leveling, really happy with it so far. And it comes in a huge freaking bottle. This is 200 milliliters, 6.76 ounces. Now that doesn't sound like a whole lot, and actually this bottle looks a hell of a lot bigger than a 6 ounce, almost a 7 ounce bottle. But I have a feeling I'm not going to run out of that stuff in a long time. But really happy with it. So really happy with it. So hello, Sarah. Haven't been able to be outside and enjoy the cold weather. But it's probably already hot, so what's the point? It's supposed to be colder tomorrow. Or, cooler. We will see. Hopefully they do not have the heater cranking at the office. And they like to do that. They like to crank the heater as soon as it drops under like 70 degrees. They put the heater on. It's ridiculous. I think heaters should be illegal in the state of Florida. They're unnecessary. And the dryness kills me. It burns every little bit of moisture up, but have to fight the heater wars. Anyhow, let's see. Get this guy straightened up. It's always interesting to see when you take a day off and you're at home and you wonder what goes on in your neighborhood while you're at work. A bunch of snoopy lawn people around here, lawn service folks. Like, what are you driving so slow in front of my house? You looking to see who you're going to rob? It's just suspect, stuff you don't realize because you're at work and you're sitting here and it's like, man, what? Why aren't these other people at work too? This is only like my fourth day off or something like that all year. Maybe fifth day. It's not many. Got to start using these days or they're going to disappear. Can't carry them over and I can't get paid for them. So I didn't want to particularly stay home or not travel well on a day off, but use them or lose them. So I figured I might as well pick days that things weren't super crazy at work. So I wouldn't have to do a ton of work leaving it set up and a minimum of cleanup tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a mess. So, as always. Okay, one guy left in this mindless painting exercise. Australian Greg, you've packed your Pyrrhic Army B version and we're heading off today. First up, a couple days at my sister's on the coast. I'll leave Lorraine there and I'll go to Mark's in Goldburn. I thought he lived in Sydney. Yeah, it's a suburb of that. I gotta take a look at him. I have no idea what Australian geography is like. Before David Lawrence's name was on Sunday. Hello. What's that? I can't read your lips when I can't see him because I'm blind. Okay, got it. What else we got? Looks like there's a lot of videos to catch up with. Yep. Yeah, you're slacking, Greg. We shot two. We did our standard Monday fare, and then we added another one. Why is this stuff sticking here? All right, let's rinse this booger. It was Monday night is our normal game night, so we did that, and then but I was off all day, so I needed to get some things done, including go to my beloved post office, which I'd rather have. I'd rather be raked by a mule than go to a post office. It's not as pleasurable experience as being raped by a mule, but I survived and had to mail something off to something I could not just add post it. Hello, thank you, and had to do that. Got the Mitches about one, and there's a set of battles that we did around 2015. Where we were trying to get people to watch, trying to get people to play 3.0. We did some kind of like the two Davids did with 4 battles. It's a series that I called the Roman Art of War, and it's 4 battles that involve the Romans. And it was you would play the non-Roman player. One side would play the non-Roman player in 2 of the battles, and then the Roman player in the other one. And it was in Huracan in 2015, so September 2015 when we ran it, and something happened and there weren't very many DBA players. We got like 4 or something like that, so it had a really poor showing of people for it, and so we just kind of put them away. And I had made like special terrain for it in felt, so it's transportable. For all 4 of the battles. And they had write-ups for them and everything, and I had handouts to give to people. And they had a really poor show, and it's like, well, we'll bring these back out at a later date. And since I had all morning to do it, I figured I'd go back over to Mitch's and we had to relearn where things were set up because I didn't have any pictures of where we had left the figures set up. But I figured, well, we just do them one at a time and kind of bring them back to life. And so we did one of them, the one I figured would be the easiest one to create. And that's one of the videos on there. So that's the first of four of the historical videos. And if people enjoy them, we may do more. So what we did is we went over there and we kind of tried to our best recollect where things were. A lot of the stuff we already knew where it was located, but there was a couple of odds and ends. And we play tested it 4 times, switching sides, and then in the video is us playing it again the fifth and sixth time, switching sides. So the interesting thing about it is the first 3 times we played, the first 3 battles we played, the Germans, the warband heavy army won all 3 times. So it wasn't until the fourth battle that the Romans actually won. Now it was a close affair. It wasn't like it was all one sided, but yeah, it was interesting. So check out that video. It's only 50 minutes long, and that's 2 games in 50 minutes. So yeah, it's a good one. So there's going to be more of those to come, even if you guys hate them, which you won't. So it just you can use DVA to play historical battles. So that's one of those that there's not a lot of historical information on. So and I don't remember what sources I used at the time, between Wikipedia and maybe a couple of board games that had kind of the setup of where the forces were. I don't remember which ones. I know that we didn't totally pull it out of our butt, but that is the first one of 4 that we'll be doing. So, and we wanted to use battles that weren't so common, and sometimes they have special rules. So, two battles in that set people have heard of. So, and that one in particular is not one that's too common. So, but it's fun having a battle where there's already kind of some things that are already, as I like to say, set up in the wrong place. So you have to kind of, or maybe not how you've set them up, and you kind of have to fix your situation and drive forward on to victory. So, okay, so now we're done with this guy. I'm gonna go back and make sure that none of these guys are missing any spots on them. Because we're going to paint these guys first before we paint the crummier knights. We're going to paint the fancy ones because they're mostly going to be metallic. There's not going to be a whole lot of stuff to them. They're almost all fully armored. The front rankers. This is the tedious phase. So I was using spray paint for a while. I got bold enough to try spray paint to primer the figures, but what happened is I'd still have to go in there and brush the other stuff. So, and then I got to deal with the fumes and it's just a big old mess. And I'm not used to painting and mess don't go together in my book. This is about as messy as I get. So, and that's just by the sheer amount of paint that we're putting on these. It's not like we're using the usual small amounts that I use in my painting. So. right, some more liquid motivation. Also known as iced coffee. Unsweetened iced coffee. Otherwise, the sugar would just make me fall asleep. It's like, why bother even having the coffee? Okay. Okay. You didn't really have anything else other than that. There's always a little couple spots here you miss here or there. It's unavoidable. It's unavoidable to do this perfectly. The mindless primer phase. Okay. Aha. Okay. We'll put that brush in the leave me alone pile. All right, I'm going to, this is why you have extra of this stuff, because now I can, nope, not that one. I could just use another one and put it here. Ah. All right. Now, I think this is dry by now. We did this a couple hours ago, so we did the little repairs that here to the castle. So I don't know where this one little piece fell off, but we're going to repaint that there. And I think I know about what color we use. It doesn't have to be a perfect science. Let's go grab our El Cheapo craft paints. That's what I use for these. All right. Let's see what we're looking at. That's probably one of them. I don't know that I need to use white. That one, I think those two colors alone should do it. I don't have to paint very much. So for those of you who don't know, this is the first camp I built. It's made out of a chunk of blue styrofoam. Let's see if we can get a better picture here. It's just a chunk of blue styrofoam. I have a styrofoam cutter. I went zip and zipped one through there. And the door is made of cardboard, painted to look like it's something that can keep people out, when in fact it can't. And there's one little piece here, a little Airfix set, the little box that comes on the German mountain troops from Airfix, 1/72nd scale. It's one of those little boxes that come on the side of, that go on the horses. That's one of those that I had left over. So that's what this is. And it's just etched with it was a solid block, and it was etched with a toothpick, to make it look like it's a stone pattern. The top was a pain in the butt to do because I needed to cut in with an X-Acto knife, leave a little bit of an edge. This is the first one I did of these, and I think it turned out pretty well. But then I had to cut it into chunks and take the little chunks out little by little so it could come down. because this is all one piece. But these things are kind of fragile, and I lost one the other day at some point. So it's a damaged castle. I mean, they can only fight the Moors for so long. They're going to get through. So that's the background story of this thing anyway. So we're going to repaint that little bit so it doesn't look like an eyesore, because it was light blue when the thing pops off, and it doesn't. This doesn't weigh anything at all. Is it? Yeah, it's magnetized. Yeah, magnetized so it doesn't get flop around on the inside the transport box. So, all right. So this is going to use a very small amount of paint. This is one of the things that we needed to accomplish today, and by God, we're going to accomplish that. All right. So we should be able to do this using dry brushing alone. Let's see if we can find one of these brushes here that we have no large love for. That one should do it. Come over here. And I don't do repairs very often, so that's kind of a fluke. And I have had this 15 years. And I've used it in about 50 or 60 games. That's how many games the Spanish have. So it's not like it just got broken the first time out. I've had it a while. Well, you know what? I'm kind of tired of the ends of these being black. So we're going to go ahead and paint them too. Damn it. So here we go. And this was just, like it was just some kind of the wall would continue. It's just cut here at the end to make the size of a camp. I prefer camps that are not just a bunch of tents. I prefer camps that actually give you some kind of a feeling of, or maybe a background of what the army, or what the civilization looks like. That's my preference. I don't want tents for every camp. But you do what you like to do. Yeah, that looks a little better. Didn't need the other color. We're good. Okay, fixed. And I made it this way so I could put, when they're defending a camp, you could have a guy there. First camp I ever did. Still like it. Okay, that's done. El Cheapo paints be gone. Oh, let's see. So back. Gotta stay organized. I don't want to leave a bunch of things here in the kitchen. It will drive me crazy. I can already do that on my own. I don't need any help. Let's see what's new over here. Let's see what we got here. All right. What else we got? We got the leader here. We're going to have to put guys that are on point in the point one position on this 6-man stand, because this is only 5 figures. It should be 10. It should be the 2 fully armored guys in position 2 and 3 on these stands, and the other non-armored guys in the back, and then you'll have a guy leading the pack in each one of them. So somebody like this guy on one, and say this guy on another one, something like that should be fine. And yeah, not these are not command units, but I think either one of guys like that would be fine, or maybe even an actual Hungarian-looking knight like say this guy should be fine as well. But we're not going to get sidetracked. I'm going to paint them all individually, and we'll come back and do those command figures, because there's kind of some doubt of what I want to do, so I don't want to get bogged down in those details. And because what will end up happening is you get nothing done. You just cogitate the whole time, and I know me. That's exactly what would happen. So, all right, more coffee. And I'm going to check up on the people that are here, and I'll be right back. Okay. Let's start working on one of these night guys. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this metallic color that I made the mistake of transferring over to one of these other eyedropper bottles. I will not do that again because the whole point was to doing that was to not make a mess. And I made a mess transferring it. And now that it is on, let's move these guys off. Now that it is on in here, this makes a mess every time I use it too. So, but if it wasn't for that, I would have not discovered using this airbrush thinner. So that's the silver lining of that. All right, we can do that. All right. We said we were going to get rid of this when we were done with the light horse. I guess we'll call that a lie because I'm not ready to get rid of that yet because I don't want to throw this black away. Even though it's cheap craft black, it'll do the intended purpose just fine. So we're going to get rid of these two because these are in good shape. And we're going to use one that is not in good shape. Because we're going to dry brush and we're going to dry brush on here. So let's see what we're dealing with here. I'm going to grab one of these knights here. And we've got some dry brushing to do there on the chainmail around the horse's neck. Okay. I believe all of them will have that. Let's get them all out here. That'll probably do just fine for this one. I have lots of what I like to call second tier brushes. Brushes that are no longer in their prime. Now, you know how I only paint one figure at a time. I think we're going to break that for the dry brushing stuff. So I will go ahead and do all the dry brushing on these 4 knights, but then we'll paint these guys individually. Because I like to have something to show for it. I don't want to wait 4 times as long to have something to show for it. That's just me. You want assembly line? You go right ahead. Doesn't really work for me. I've tried it and it does not work. Okay, so we'll keep one of these guys. How about this guy? And we're going to paint this guy all the way through. All right, so we've already got this this painting color that we need here. Let's get this a little handier location. All right, we're gonna have to get a better brush for this. We're gonna drop Nuln Oil on this. But before we do that, I can't use my phone where I have some pictures of this, but I'm going to put it. I'm going to put an emblem on the back hindquarters on the metal on this particular knife. So I'm going to go and go to a place that I know that there's pictures for. I believe, man, the problem is I have everything through my phone, and my phone, of course, is filming. So let's see if I can. Let me see if I can get away with this. Let me see if I can get away with this. Let me see if I can do that. So let me go here. That's not working. Uh, Perfect. So I am a big fan of Pinterest. I'm a huge fan of Pinterest. And Pinterest is great for military modeling, soldiers, that kind of stuff, because you can just type stuff on there and invariably somebody will have uh, a information on something that you're interested in. In this case is I wanted some ideas on Hungarian Nights. So I come over here, type in Hungarian Nights in Pinterest, and I have all kinds of goodies here. This isn't even stuff I put together. This is just some random stuff on here on Pinterest. Now, you know how people complain Wikipedia has a lot of wrong stuff. Pinterest has even more wrong stuff. So you need to kind of know what you're looking at. You can't just look at this and assume, oh yeah, it's a Hungarian knight. You know, this guy here is not a Hungarian knight. Okay, same thing. They've got Templars stuck in here, but there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. Now, in particular, there is these illustrations. This is one of them in particular. This is an illustration from a book that I actually found on Amazon, and it has lots of flags, Hungarian flags. So I recognize this particular illustration. But these are some of the emblems I can put on the hindquarters of the not necessarily all four of them, but one of them in particular. And if I can show you, it's from that same book. There is a look. Here's another one. See if I get a bigger picture of it or whatever. I have the world's slowest internet, so. Okay, what does that say? Commanders group. I'm not sure what the date is on it, but you know you've got some different ideas here for things. But I love Pinterest, and you know it's free, but not everything that's considered Hungarian is actually Hungarian. So this is the Hungarian Kingdom. Magyar is Hungary. But here's some other ideas of stuff that you could put that are Hungarian-ish type things on here. So, and just like anything else, you're looking at French Hundred Years' War. Type in French Hundred Years' War, and you're going to get stuff. You know, along with a Google image search, will net you those things as well. So, you know, sometimes like this, you get something that's not Hungarian Nights. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get. You know, so it's useful. It's useful. So, right. Okay. So What emblem are we going to put on there? Well, I think we're going to put something that's red and white predominantly. It kind of makes sense. But the we're going to put a shield on there with. Let me see if I can find that book that I'm talking about. Let me go on Amazon. Okay, it's called Hungarian Military Flags. Okay, so this particular book is called Hungarian Military Flags, and they were nice enough to put 9 images of all the flags in here. So there's one of them in particular that's a ship, and you can see this is a ship of supposedly a Danubian war galley with flying colors 1480, which is exactly the time period that I'm looking at doing. Now I don't know how accurate this is, but so the Hungarian symbol is traditionally like these guys right here. This is one of their traditional symbols. Maybe you can see that, but it's like this symbol right here. Okay, I forgot I have a touch screen. I rarely use it. It's the white double-legged cross on a green, like a little green mountain. Okay, on this ship in particular, it has one reversed. Now I don't know why. In other words, the white and the red are reversed. I don't know why, but that's what we're going to put on this shield. Okay, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, okay, so that's what we're going to go with. So, with that said, we're going to paint this entire. Of course, this thing is all metallic, and it's all the same. So we're not going to we'll put the little shield thing on there afterwards. So we're going to paint. I'm going to paint this. What I should have done is painted the horse flesh first. All right, that's all right. We'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll paint the horse flesh part. All this stuff is metal, and we're going to paint it. It's all this. What is this stuff called? This is the lead belcher. So this is the darkest shade of the Games Workshop metallics, and then we're going to drop some Gnome oil on it, darken it up a little bit more. Then we'll put the shield on there, and then we'll lighten it up with this again and brighten it up even more with certain spots with the next higher color, the next lighter color metallic on there. That's at least my strategy on this. And if I don't like how that symbol looks, then I'll just undo the symbol and put a different one. But you can't, I don't want to spend 3 hours trying to figure out what the perfect thing is for it, because I'm just going to come up empty handed and be frustrated. So put some of that airbrush thinner on there. We may need that. Good to have that handy. I made it too wet. Yeah, metallics are a little different than painting regular. I want to leave a little bit of black in between the, thank you. I want to leave a little bit of black in between the pieces of metal. Helps them pop. And speaking of pop, we're gonna make this guy in a chestnut colored horse. And we got some metallic pieces here on the neck, on the horse. And we're gonna go ahead and paint. We're gonna make the face shield on the horse, because he's got a metallic face shield. We're gonna paint that in red, make it pop. The rest of the horse's armor will be in silver, but the actual face piece on here will be in red. Make it pop a little bit. Tie in the whole red and white theme that's going on with this army. And we'll go ahead and paint the man-at-arms as well, because he's got his armor's made out of the same material as well. So this airbrush thinner, I'll tell you what I use it for. It's a way to keep the brush moist and the paint not dry on the brush. It works a hell of a lot better than water. I don't know exactly how it works, or it has some smell too, and it looks familiar, but I'm not. It smells familiar. I'm not sure what it exactly it is, but it's some kind of alcohol type of thing. But yeah, it improves the flow of the paint, so it's not sticking onto the brush, and it also it keeps it from clumping on the bristles. I don't know if that's what the intent is, but that's what I use it for. It seems to work pretty well for that. And like I said, that was just kind of a mistake, because I ended up getting it to dilute the paint that came in the Games Workshop bottle, so I could transfer it on to the eyedropper, which it worked for that too, but it was just way too time consuming, and I still made a mess. Not a huge mess or anything, but you know, it was less than it was less than satisfying. Man, I got a lot of notifications. Hold on, folks. See what we got here. Okay. Okay. That's nice. Okay. All right. What else is metallic on him? We're never going to do the face. We got to do the rest of the body of this dude. So what I'm doing is we're painting this, we're leaving a little bit of black. We're painting everything metallic in this shade. Everything that's going to be plate mail. And then we're going to drop the Nolan oil on there. What that's going to do is it's going to darken this metallic to one shade darker than this, okay? Because there's no darker shade I can use. And it'll get it all to blend together. Then we'll come back and paint this back on it on the high points to make it shine, okay? And then we'll go one shade lighter than this one on top of that and pick out the details. So that works really well. The normal is very subtle, and it's just kind of a wash, and it works really well for the metallics. But I don't just throw it on there and just forget about it. I've got to come back, and you got to detail paint the things that pop. So it's not just dry brush the dude and move on. Okay, we're about done with this guy. So let's just go ahead and drop the Nolan oil on him. That's going to take a little bit of time to dry. Let's grab it. Where is it? Where did it go? Here it is. Citadel Nolan oil. We're just going to put this on top. And let's open this up a little bit. There we go. And not spill this. This is hard to come by. So it darkens it, gives it a little bit of a brown look, browns it a little bit. But we're going to paint over it anyways. We're just adding some depth that wasn't there already. Okay, well, we'll wait for that to dry. We can go ahead and paint the horse flesh on them after we use the little boy's room. We will be right back. In a few moments. Okay. just got some nail painting brushes. They're very good for doing high detail and sharp lines. Oh, 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 oh. And 1,000s and 1/10,000s. They're really good for shield work, etc. Yeah, I bought. Let's see, do I have one left? I probably opened them all up. I'll buy El Cheapo brushes. I can't. I keep hearing about the Windsor and Newton brushes, and there's nowhere here in town to get them. We don't have a store that carries them. And I'm just not gonna mail order brushes without sight unseen. They're just I've bought too many brushes in the past, so you just never know what you're gonna get. So in the past, what I've bought is just like a multi-pack of like 12. They're always golden tack long and always ching chang chung zwang cheng, these type of things. And they're like $4 for like 10 of them, so like 40 cents each. And they don't last forever, but then if one of them it gets destroyed, I don't fret about it, and I've been happy with them. Now I've got to change where I get them from because I used to buy them at a place that I'm not going to do business with anymore. I bought probably 4 packs of them maybe a couple of years ago, but I'm painting a hell of a lot more than I used to. So I am kind of going through them. And look, the null wall is almost dry completely, but we're going to paint that. We're going to paint that chestnut horse or that colored horse. So when I go buy brushes again, I'm going to have to rethink how I'm going to go about them. So this is the cavalry brown that we're going to be using as a base for the horse color on this one. But I usually just buy cheap brushes, and because I really don't have an alternative. And what's worked the best for me, the brush size doesn't really mean anything. It's the tip that's on it. And I tend to like liners better than rounds. As a general rule, having a little bit longer brush. What am I talking about? Having a longer brush distance seems to give you a little bit better control. But um, I know somebody asked me, "Hey, what size brushes do you use?" I've said every brush is different. Sometimes I use one I can get really good detail with like a 1, and sometimes it's a 10-aught. It just depends. Every brush is different. I'd like to try one of those expensive brushes, but I don't know. All the ones that you can find, I mean, there's not even any natural brushes here in the store. So I had thought, hey, maybe when I go to a convention, I can pick one. Oh wait, we don't have conventions anymore, so I've just bought multi-pack things. So if I have to buy them again, I'd probably buy. I'd probably either go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and buy the multi-pack brushes, and use one of their 40% off coupons, and they're pretty close to the same price I was paying before. So I've got to kind of go in different directions. So and because what I did is the last time I bought them, I bought like I don't know 4 or 5 packs of 10. So that was a couple of years ago, but yeah, that's what I use. These plaid, I'm pretty sure they're golden Taclon, so they're synthetic. So, but they work pretty good, and I've been happy with them. So, but when it's time to get more, we'll have to rethink. Every time I've gone into Michael's or Hobby Lobby, I check out to see what brushes they have. Even though I still have enough, just to kind of see what direction I'm going to go in next. So, all right, so we're going to do our dark shade here. Maybe go a little bit darker. Well, we don't have the options in this town. We still have over like 150,000 people. We just don't have the options. So as a matter of fact, craft paint, like stuff like this, is hard to come by in non weird colors. As I'll go to the stores and they'll be out of them. So um, it's a I think a mixture of people buying this stuff up, painting that, due to the shutdown, people are painting that and bought paints that never would have bought paints before, and also restocking is an issue. So I did run into they had two bottles of the black when I went into, was it Michael's? I want to say it was Michael's, a couple of weeks back. Maybe it was Hobby Lobby. I bought them both. Like, I'm going to need these at some point. So move out of the way. I'm a painter, damn it. So I'm all set for probably 5 years, maybe even longer. I don't use that much of that. So we're just getting the basic horse color here underneath the armor. Shield work. I love painting shields. Man, I love painting shields. You have no idea. You have no idea how much I love painting shields and doing the research on it. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. So, and the guesswork. Sometimes you just have to, who you're going to put next to the other ones. I know that I've talked about this in the past. I have 100 Years War French Army that I need to do. The two hardbacks each have 100 Years War English Army. So I need opponent. I've got all enough figures to do them. Enough figures that I like to paint them. It's just a matter of the heraldry. So then it becomes, okay, do I want to do a Crecy time period one, or do I want to do an Agincourt, or do I want to do one between the two, which is probably the direction I'm going to go in. Is probably do one with the Bertrand guy. I don't know how to say his last name correctly. Guesclin, Bertrand du Guesclin. I bet I could figure it out if I know how to spell his name. But anyways, he has a really cool heraldry. He's got a big red eagle on I believe that's what it is. There's a black eagle with a red slash through it. Um, Bertrand du. He's he's a Breton. Bertrand du Guesclin. I would say it's Guesclin. Yeah, the Eagle of Brittany. Yeah. Yeah, he was in that period in between, let's see, Crecy's first, so Poitiers and Agincourt. So I would probably put him as my commander. So, anyways, whenever I do my 100 Years War French army, the problem is going to be there's lots of heraldry, and the problem is who do I put in the stand with who else? So, I got to make sure that guys that serve together are on there. I'm anal retentive when it comes to stuff like that. So, there's lots of information, luckily, on that period. So, anyhow, that's. I need to do that army at some point. I just haven't because I've kind of focused on armies that I don't see all the time. There's 530 armies or something like that. So why should I do the ones that everybody's already doing or already having done? So, all right, let's lighten this horse color up some. We're going to leave some of the darker color towards the lower extremities of the horse's legs. That seems to be a common occurrence. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go the full all the way up to that color. But let's get us some white here so we can lighten this color up. That's not white. It just looks white. There we go. Hard to see things that are 2 feet away with me without glasses. It's all one blur. I like just one little bit more. Just one little bit. There we go. Once you got the horse on there, then it kind of gives you a little better idea of how to paint stuff on the armor because you have something to work off of and you know how it's going to go into how it's going to look with the horse flesh color on there. So same thing with the faces. Sometimes you get to a point where it's like, okay, I just need to do the face of the figure now because I need to kind of wrap my head around how he's going to look. So okay. Woo. Oh, the yawns are back? Jeez. All right. Okay, we'll do socks last. We don't want to scuff them up as we're moving this thing around in our hand. All right. Let's do that little shield pattern. All right, so let's see what we got here as candidates for the shield. This one should be fine. Yeah, always like working off a black base. So we're gonna come in here, and this is before we highlight this with the Nuln oil. I'm gonna come in here, and this is just craft paint. This is just black craft paint, El Cheapo stuff. It works just fine. Before the paint palette, I would use black and white from the cheap stuff because I'd go through it so much because it was drying out on me. Now I've actually rebought the Vallejo, but I had to paint the edges of the stand using this, so I had lots of leftover. So I'm just gonna do that on there. So let's see where that little shield is of that guy. Close this. Don't save. Well, where the hell is it? I see it's on. I don't have that page open anymore. All right, I can go on my history and find it. There we go. All right, and what the hell? Oh, these people make an army. The army of King Matthias, 1458 to 1526 as well. Huh. Cool. Jackpot. Well, let's see what pictures I got in here. See all 9 images. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. I take this stuff as a grain of salt. Some of it is just, artistic representation. What's this? Targe and puppies. King Matthias in parade armor on horseback. So here he is wearing. Oh, very cool. Here's some shields. Coats of baronial families, 14th century. Okay. Well, this guy's a mercenary. So these guys in these deep nights, these guys are mercenaries. So uh, I'm not really interested in painting something specific to a certain family. Um, oh, look at the war wagon. Yeah, I was going to do something like that anyways. My war wagons are going to have little shields of certain things. So yeah, this is a little symbol to what we're looking for. White with a. Maybe we'll do one of those families on one of the other guys. But yeah, all right, cool. All right, so we're gonna paint it black, and then we will do it white on it. And got it. All right, cool. Yeah, there's good stuff on the internet. Good stuff on the internet. Okay. All right, where are we? Black. Let's uh, let's paint a shield, and it is just a standard shield shape. So let's go. It's going to be about this tall. Come over like so, and we're going to come straight down. Okay, here's what we have. Now we're going to fill that in black, and then we'll have a little nice little black border on it. And not so watery. And then we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Okay. Okay, and then we'll fill this thing in. Well, now we got a black shield on both sides. Okay, now that's going to be the border of the shield that we're going to do. That's going to keep us in line to make sure that we don't have the proportions all messed up and then get, and they're constantly correcting it. So if you're doing something like that, that is kind of detailed, it's best to take it in small bites so that you don't get something that looks great, but it's out of proportion. And then you have to go and undo everything you already did. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a white background, but we're not going to go all the way white. We're going to do a gray because we're going to want to highlight it afterwards. All right, so right, let's come in here and let's find us a spot. It's getting harder and harder. Okay. Maybe something like this color. And we're going to leave a tiny little bit of black around the edge. And that's because I just painted it white on here. The white's not going to stand out from the metallic color very much. It's just going to go all get lost. See, I like painting shields so much, I'm putting a shield where there isn't one. Okay, so we've got a little shield. It's got a little black border around it, just like that. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just do both sides at the same time so that you don't get too carried away with one, and then you can't replicate it. Yes.
There you go.
What? What is that?
I know, so it's fragile, be careful.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. What? Love you. Okay, I got something in the mail. I wasn't expecting it. It's something that somebody said, hey, I'm going to mail something to you DBA related. I probably should do an unboxing live. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know if you guys are still alive there. We'll have to finish till the shield's done, but the person did say it was DBA related, so let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this other end. You know what? I should do an unboxing video just on that. That's what I've done with the other stuff that people sent me, so I will not do it live. I will. It'd be another video you guys can watch here on the channel. Uh-oh, people responded. It's going to be a revolt. By all means, please unbox. Well, it's fair. The other people have sent me stuff, and I've made an actual video. I think this guy deserves the same thing. So we'll hold off on that. We will do it today, and we will post it up today so you guys can see it. So I have no idea what it is. And if it's a bomb, that way it won't go off during that. I won't get banned. Okay, so here is the other side. Okay, so the intent is it will be white, but we do not want to do it white all the way just yet. All right, what's the next part? Well, obviously we have a little green bottom. We have a red. Okay, now I don't know why on this particular emblem here, it's a split cross. I know that that's probably not the exact terminology for it, but in the past I've always seen, well, here you go. Here's two examples of it. Okay, I've always seen the larger part of the cross towards the bottom and the shorter one at the top. For some reason on these shields, it has the smaller part towards the bottom and the larger one towards the top. And same thing on the ship. It's the smaller cross piece towards the bottom and the larger one towards the top. I had never seen that before. See? And here it's the smaller towards the top, the larger towards the bottom, which that's the one that looks right to me. So I don't know what the story is between the two things. See, here it is flipped. How very, very strange. How very strange. Well, it doesn't look right to me this way. It looks right to me the other way. So we'll do it the other way. All right. Although, if I make the larger one towards the top, it's going to be easier to do on the shield because there's more space up here to do it. All right, I'll do it backwards. How about that? Backwards wins. All right. These are all the cogitations that go on in putting Tony the tease. I didn't ask for the guy to send me the thing. I just, I want to be fair to him. Everybody else got a legitimate video with background music and stuff, so it says it's fragile. I'll have you take a look at it. It's kind of heavy. I have no idea what it is. I don't know. I'll do these shields and then we'll stop this video and then we'll do that and you guys have something else to look at. Because there's not enough videos I've put out today yet. Let's get some red. Red. The other thing is not a lot of people are watching these videos. I mean, I appreciate you guys watching them, but I would say for each person that watches these live painting videos, we probably have um, 6 to 7 people that'll watch a normal video instead. So they're not getting as much stuff. There's a lot of people out there that I understand they're not interested in learning how to paint. They're a little too late. I get it. I'm not interested in learning how to run a marathon. It's a little too late for me. So, but you're gonna get people are going to get more exposure over something and doing an actual video for it. Especially when an unboxing video is rarely going to be more than 10 minutes long. We're running on 3.5 hours already of this, and people aren't going to, go through it and look at it. So, came across your page a couple weeks ago. Your painting is high quality. Thank you, Andrew. Make sure you subscribe so you can see all kinds of good stuff on there. And unfortunately, it's kind of limited right now. I do have other things that I get into, but I really hold myself. I put myself on a leash because I do not want to do a bunch of different things and have nothing to show for it. I would rather focus on the DBA stuff like I am now. And as it is, it still takes me a couple, 3 months to get an army done just for, a handful of figures, but at least have something to show for it, and we can do videos with them. If I was going to say paint my 20 millimeter World War II, yeah, it'd be fun to paint them, but I'm not going to be playing that anytime soon. So I kind of keep myself on a short leash so that I don't get out of control. Now we're going to do the cross, and what we're going to do back housewards. Right, got it. Okay, so this is the dark shade. Again, this is not the color that we want to end up with, but we want to go ahead and put this down and take it one stroke at a time. So we're going to, how much white space is above it? Just enough that I can get a brush thing through there. We don't want to get too close to the end and then we can't get through there. So drop a vertical line there. It doesn't need to go to the very bottom because there's going to be green towards the bottom there. All right. And we're going to do the same on the other side since we got that whole back and forth thing going, okay? Now, when you're painting lines, I find it very useful to pull down. Anytime you're trying to do a straight line, pull down. So see this sideways one I'm getting ready to do? I'm going to turn this sideways, and then that way I can pull down. That just seems to work the best for me. It's easier to keep a consistent line length. And I am going to interrupt one thing because I just realized this may end up being a problem. I'm going to do the green now because I don't want to put those 2 lines in and put them too close to where the green's going to be and not leave myself any room. Hey, it's almost like that's happened to me before. Okay, so we're going to use this green as a base. We don't have to do a whole lot of this stuff. Okay. And we're going to need a lightener. And we might actually do something crazy like this. It's just a tiny little amount, but I don't want to back myself into a corner that I can't get out of. No, let's not do that. Let's just use just regular yellow. And this one should do fine. Thank you. Pet peeve. You grab one thing and something else falls. Luckily, it's just annoyance, but hey, you know what they say about painters, we're all crazy. So, all right, let's put some yellow there that we're going to use to highlight that green. At least I'm not biting my own ear off, All right. So, let's let's come in. We're going to add a little bit of black. And add the green in here. A little bit darker shade. All right, we're going to come in. We still want to leave a little bit of black there towards the edge. And do the same thing on this end. Hey, this is the sign of maturity. 20 years ago, I couldn't get a package in the mail and wait to open it. That'd be like insane. That'd be like a definition of insanity. All right, so now we're going to take this color here and we're going to fill in. Could hardly tell the difference, but if I didn't do it, I'd be able to know. Okay, and add some yellow to that color so that we can lighten it up. I could also use white, but then it ends up looking very pasty, and that's not really what I want to go for. Okay, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with this where we're at. And maybe a little bit more, add that last little bit of depth. Okay, just that little bit of green there. Come on, focus. There we go. It's still going to look like crap on video. We'll have better figures. We'll have better pictures of these guys when we're done. So, all right, now we can go back to the red, right? Now we know where the top of that little green mountain is going to be, and now we don't overshoot it and get too low to it. All right, so we're going to flip this guy sideways, like we said we were going to. Put some of this thinner. I'm going to roll now. First I was grinding, I get bored like just doing the primering and stuff. But this is what I like to do right here. This is where it's at. Let's make sure that we don't have a brush that's too wet and run into different issues then. Now, let's avoid that lance as best we can, and we're going to have a long one towards the top. And short towards the bottom. Okay, show you what I got. It's hard to get there with a shine, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, next up, go over it again with red. Now we're still not up to the top shade of red. Why are you using so many shades? Because it makes a difference. It does make a difference. It does make a difference. Okay. And I paint very, very thin. All right. And then flip over to this side. It almost looks like the Free French symbol. Okay. Now we're going to switch to white, and we're going to finish the white all the way up, and then we'll top it off with the full red, with a red highlight. All right. Where's our little spot that we had here of, well, all we did was use white, which is, it's down over here. My white that's alive. It becomes more difficult and difficult to remember where you leave things on here. So we can go over that. That one's fine. It's okay if if it darkens it a little bit. We needed to do that. We're not going to do full white just yet. We're going to come in here and again, if you screw this up, it's easy. It's easy to fix it. Okay. And this side here. Okay. Just taking a little bits, little bits. Okay, now we come in. Where's red? On the other end? Man, gotta keep them separated. These guys over here. This is the full red. Maybe we'll highlight it a tiny little bit. White's fine. Brighten it up a little bit. Okay, last one, less color. Okay, now it's not perfect, but now remember, what am I using here? It's a 10-0 spotter. Of course, doesn't mean anything. From Zhuangcheng, China. So you know it's a piece of crap brush. But let's see if we can. Let's see. Let's get this little thing. Makes a big difference if you put this on something that's stable. Let's see if we can. Look at that. Awesome. Okay. Piece of cake. Now, we all have our own methods of doing things on here. I can't paint in midair, what I like to call painting in midair, which means I've seen people, they paint like with both hands, like they're not they're not rested on anything. Dude, I'm totally rested. My wrist is rested from one hand. This is rested in the other one. Steady really isn't an issue. So then I just have to worry about the flow of the paint and make sure it's not gumming up and giving it a cloudy appearance. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Is it perfect? No. Does it look good? Yeah, I think so. I'm happy with it. So yeah, we're going to do that. So now all we're going to do then in the next step is going to be you're going to come in with the metal and brighten it up around that. But yeah, we're going to stop here because I have no idea what's in that box, and you guys want to know what it is. So we're going to have to shoot a video on that. So anyhow, thanks for joining me, and unfortunately tomorrow we go back to our regular scheduled work week. So I'm not going to be seen again until the weekend for sure. But anyhow, thanks for joining me. And there's more Hungarians coming out for sure. This is one of many nights. So, all right, folks, we'll catch you guys next time. See ya and happy painting.